Hi readers, thank you for being here tonight. I am so excited because Janice Boekhoff is going to be here and she is going to tell us about her really unusual and interesting adventure kind of science fiction books. And they have romance in them, so I'm counting them as romances. And I know you're going to love hearing about them. If you ask a question or leave a comment in the comment section, you'll be automatically entered to win a free copy of one of 3 of Janice's books. And she's going to tell you about those. Please go to my website because you can sign up for my newsletter there. It's my Readers and Friends Book Club, and you'll get to download a free book with that, but also you'll hear about sales and pre-order alerts and lots of fun things going on with my newsletter. So I hope you check that out. And my book, Dandelion Meadows, which is set in a small Idaho town filled with quirky, hilarious characters, has a new cover. And I know you're going to love it. This is one of my favorite books. It's absolutely hilarious, very heartwarming, sweet, and very romantic. So I hope you check it out. It's in paperback and on Kindle. And now I am so excited to introduce Janice Boekhoff. Janice, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I am just thrilled that you would say yes, and so excited to hear about your books. I knew about Janice. How long ago was it? She won a contest with the
Mhm.
Utah Romance Writers,
Yeah.
and then I said, "Hey, let me read your book." And anyway, then I saw your name on a list of finalists for the
Mhm.
ACFW Carol Award, and I thought, "Oh my goodness, I knew her a long time ago." So I reached out to see if you would come, and so glad you did. So tell me about yourself and your books. I know the readers will want to hear all about your success and maybe about the Carol Award. That's pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I am a former research geologist, so
Oh,
I switched careers. I used to work for the Iowa Geological Survey in Iowa, and just had a great time at that job. But then I stayed at home with my kids after about 5 years at that job, and I just had. I mean, I was so busy with young kids, but my brain was kind of bored. So I just started writing in the carpool line. My first book was handwritten because I didn't have a computer that I could take with me. We only had one at home. So I hand wrote it and then typed it in later. And I just fell in love with it. I just did it to kind of entertain myself and then just really fell in love with telling stories. And I've always liked to read and I've always liked science. So I've not always been into I've always been into science fiction, but not really like spaceships and that type of thing, but other types of science fiction. So like dinosaurs or time travel, those kinds of things. I've always had a lot of fun with that.
oh, I love that. So tell me about your books. The one I read was about this woman who got sent to like a penal colony where dinosaurs were. It was super cool. Such a
Yeah.
really cool concept. So tell us about all these books and how you have meshed science with your writing.
Yeah, well, I've always loved dinosaurs, and I have all kinds of dinosaur stuff around my office, and stuffed dinosaurs. I even have a dinosaur gun where like a T-Rex shoots a ball out of its mouth when I get frustrated. So I've always loved dinosaurs, and my first series that I wrote was a Christian suspense series, and it was about a different type of geologist for each book. But for this one, I decided I wanted to get away from having like the scientist character, main character, be her job. She is a little bit of a scientist. She's more of a biologist, but she's a herpetologist. So she studies basically like lizards and stuff like that. And she gets wrongly convicted. And this is set a little bit in the future in a different type of world where we, instead of housing death row inmates here in the US, we send them to live with dinosaurs in Costa Rica. And here in the US, we feel like we're giving them a chance at survival. So we're not outright killing them, but also know that they're confined to an area where they can't get out, and like the people can't get out and hurt other people. And so if they can live with the dinosaurs, then they can live. And if not, then the dinosaurs kind of take care of the death penalty issue. So she's wrongly convicted and sent to live on this island. And she, because she has specialized in lizards, that gives her a little bit of an advantage, but she's a woman and on an island with a lot of convicts. So she's got to figure out how to survive and navigate, not just with the animal predators, but the human predators as well. So, but they are clean. There's some violence in there, but they're clean books for most people to be able to read, probably from junior high up.
So are they romantic? Or are they
There is
mostly?
some romance thread, yes. Actually, a lot of science fiction kind of branches into two genres. You have romantic science fiction, like science fiction romance, and then you have regular science fiction. So mine are not as romantic as romance science fiction, but they do have a romance thread in it.
Extinction Island. Is
Extinction Island, yeah.
okay.
Then there's Deception Island, and the book that's up for the current Carol Award is Execution Island.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Okay. So is that your latest book that's
That is
out?
not. I actually have a new series that came out this year that's a time travel series.
Ooh.
So I've always loved Quantum Leap. I don't know if you ever used to watch that
I
show.
adored that show. I love Scott Bakula. He's still like one of my
Yes.
favorite
He's
actors.
amazing. Yes. And so basically in that show, he leaps from body to body and is trying to put right what once went wrong, is the tagline for it. And I kind of wanted to take that and just spin it a little bit. It's set a little bit in the future. So it's set in 2051, where a college student figures out time travel. And then his best friend is murdered. And so he goes back in time to try to keep his best friend from being murdered. But his time travel is limited. He only has 21 hours to fix what is going on in the past that can help his future, and before he gets kicked back to the present. So he doesn't jump into somebody else's body, but he only leaps for a short amount of time.
Can
So
he
yeah.
go back again and again and again?
He actually ends up, you find out by the end of the first book that he gets pulled back in again, and he doesn't even know why he gets pulled back for the next 21 hours. So he's
Uh,
got to figure out how to get back home, and then also how to discover why he's getting pulled back in every
oh,
20
wow.
hours.
Well,
So,
do you have any trouble with the paradox of time travel?
oh my gosh. I'm not very good at series Bibles, and I really should have a series Bible for this already,
For
but I
that
don't,
one, yeah.
and I'm not. So yes, I kind of lately I've been having to go back. I'm working on book 2 right now, and I'm having to go back and make sure I'm like everything's lining up, and like I'm making sure that if I change this, then it didn't change something else in the future. So yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah. But the first book, he goes back to the Civil War, which is one of my favorite time periods. So,
Oh, and you just must have this amazing imagination to think of something so different but so compelling.
well, sometimes it's different, and sometimes people like that, and sometimes people are like, this is a little too different for me, but I just have a lot of fun with it. When I'm writing, kind of my rule is I don't want to bore myself. And so if I'm not bored, then I'm hoping that the reader is having fun too. So.
Absolutely. That's a really good is it bad if sometimes I'm writing and I fall asleep mid-sentence? I don't know if that means I'm bored or if it's just I'm just so tired. I don't
Might just mean you're tired,
know.
I'm sure.
I'm asking everybody that I interview this year if they have a quote or an inspirational thought that they would love to share with the readers.
And I hope you can see that. Not all who wander are lost.
Oh, I love that.
That's one of my
That's
favorites, from
Lord of
J.R.R.
the Rings.
Tolkien. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's one of my favorites because I've always felt like, and I think a lot of writers feel this way, like their brains work a little bit different with the imagination, and a lot of people can't relate to what it's like to live up in your head like that, and to just have a great time up in there. And I feel like I've always wandered in my thoughts and always wandered in my writing, and it doesn't mean that you're lost because you're wandering. It means that you're exploring, and I've always just really enjoyed that. So,
Last question. You are stuck on a desert island. What three things would you want to have with you?
oh, paper to write,
Okay.
probably a water bottle, and I'm assuming my kids are grown by now, so my husband.
Those are really good things. Yeah, I had another writer say,
Practical.
yeah, I'd take my husband because he knows how to do everything.
I
He knows
know,
how to
he'd be
build
very
stuff.
handy. Build me a shelter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I've always felt like if I just had paper and a pen, I could be very happy anywhere because I
I
could,
forgot the pen. I guess I'll have to like use charcoal or something.
yeah, yeah, that'd be okay. But I
Right, I should have brought the pen.
Well, Janice, thank you so much for being here. Readers, please go
Oh,
check out all her books and look up above so you know how to spell her name so you can search her up on
yes,
Amazon, and I'll put a
yes.
link to one of her books on Amazon, and I know you're going to love reading them. So thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you so much for having me. This is fun.